Good morning once again. Today we're going to continue our discussion on the time value of money. So quick review, guys. We learned how to compute for the equivalencies for the future value, present value, and we looked at single cash flows last time. We also looked at annuities. We said that for an annuity, for example, we can compute for the equivalent present value, and then we can also compute for the equivalent future value. So theoretically, whether we choose the single cash flow at the beginning of the year or the single cash flow at the end of the period, or the annuity for the specific period of time, we said that we are indifferent unless we introduce other factors that may help, that may affect our decision. We said that these cash flows are equivalent, so it doesn't matter what we choose. Okay, kasi pare-pareho naman sila. Okay, we also looked at the use of Excel to compute for the FV, PV, PMT. And we said that Excel is very particular about the direction of the cash flow. So kailangan alam natin dapat kung what was I saying? Ang gusto kong sabihin na if we just are interested in the absolute value, then we can just put the negative sign either at the beginning of the function or dun mismo sa PV or FB or PMT mismo. Okay, so that will matter, guys, when we compute for the N, for the N per, and for the rate. No? Kasi sa rate, kailangan natin magbigay yung either yung equivalence ng future value and the present value. Okay, to compute, for us to be able to compute for the rate. So one of them has to be a negative. Katulad ng ginawa natin last time, di ba? Ito, this is your PMT and this is your future value, and we had to make one of them as negative. Otherwise, kung parehong positive yan or parehong negative, the formula will not work. Okay, so far, guys, ang tinignan natin isang single cash flow lang or kaya annuity. Now, what happens if we have uneven cash flow stream katulad nito? So when we're evaluating a project, usually sa simula may cash outflow yan. Ito yung initial investment natin. So we'd like to determine if this project, which is represented by this stream of cash flows, an even cash flow stream, is feasible or not. Now we tried to answer this before, and we said that we cannot add these cash flows. So we cannot say that this project is feasible because if we add the positive cash flows or the inflows, this gives us 15,000 vis-a-vis the 9,000, the outflow. So the net is 6,000 positive. We can say that this is okay because the net, the sum is 6,000. It doesn't work that way because we cannot add cash flows that belong to different time frames. We will be violating the principle of the time value of money. So in this problem, we can determine if this is feasible or not by computing for their present values and then adding them up. So if once we have converted them into their present values, we can now add them because they now belong to the same time frame. So for this problem, for this investment, we're told that the WACC is 10%, and we gave this a name. Okay, kita natin sa name box may pangalan na WACC, so we can use the name WACC. Okay, so how do we determine if this project is feasible or not? Well, we say that we can compute for the present values of each stream of cash flows. Okay, and then we can add them now and see if the project is feasible or not. So let's do this. We compute for the present values, negative PV. Okay, so we can use the negative PV function. PV. Okay, so it's the function, the f of x, guys. Hindi yung name na to. Then rate is the WACC. Okay, we can type W. Okay, so there, it's a WACC. Okay, N per is 0. The year. Okay, And then we don't have an annuity, rather we have the future value. Okay. And we have, okay, 9,000. Okay. So we expected that, guys. Eh, pwede rin natin ang gawin dito, no? Pwede, instead of this one, dito natin ilalagay yung negative. Pwede rin yan. Okay, so what does this tell us? Yung 9,000, negative 9,000 or cash flow of 9,000, magkano occurring at year 0, magkano yung present value niyan? Siyempre, 9,000 din. Kasi nasa present value to eh. So expect this to be 9,000 also. If we copy this down, okay, so ano ibig sabihin ng 909.09? Yung 1,000 to be obtained after 1 year at 10% is equivalent to 909 today. So yung 5,000 in 5 years time is equivalent to 3104.61. So these are all present values. Okay, since they are all present values, we can now add them. Alt equal to, control enter. So it's 1652.59. Okay, there's a name for this. Pag in-add natin lahat ng mga present values, ang tawag natin dyan, net present value. Okay, and the decision rule is for an investment where we're considering cash outflows and cash inflows. The decision rule is if the net present value is positive, then okay yung project natin. So in this instance, guys, ang net present value natin is 1652 positive. Therefore, this project is acceptable. Another way to look at it is to compute for the future value. So we can use the present value, we can use the future value. So if you watch the videos, guys, you can easily compute for this also. Use the FB function. Okay, the rate is the WACC. WACC pa rin rate natin. Yung Apr natin, guys, so since we're projecting this into the future, yung value now at year 0, yung in 5 years, okay, ilang periods yun? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 compounding periods. So 5 periods yun. Pagpunta natin sa year 1, ilang periods yan? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 na lang. No? Okay? So pagpunta natin sa year 2, 1, 2, 3. Pagdating natin sa year 3, 2 na lang. Pagdating natin sa year 4, 1 na lang. Pagdating natin sa year 5, 0 na. Kasi year 5 na siya. So the way to go about this is to, since variable siya, we can use the 5 here, fix the row, and then subtract the year here. Para pag kinopya natin pababa to, it becomes 5 minus 0, 5 minus 1, 5 minus 2, 5 minus 3, etc. Okay, so that's a convenient way to compute for your Apr. PMT, guys, this is not an annuity, so it's the present value. Okay, pwede natin ilagay yung present value dito, negative. Sabi nga natin, di ba, pwedeng sa simula yon o pwedeng dun sa cash flow mismo. Control enter. So ang future value ng negative 9,000 is negative 1494.59. Future value siya. Yeah. So as expected, guys, yung future value ng 5,000 at year 5 is of course 5,000 din. Kasi parehong time frame yan eh. Okay, 5,000 din yan. Okay, so we can now add this, alt equal to, okay, so it's 2661.51. So the net future value is 2661.51. So just as the net present value, the decision rule for net present value is that it should be positive for the project to be feasible. Ganun din sa net future value. Okay, in fact, equivalent value siya, no? So if I compute for the future value of this 1652, kasi present value to eh. So let's compute for its future value. Our rate is WACC. Apr natin, yung 1652, compounded for 5 years, okay? PMT none, present value natin 1652, okay? So we get 2661.51, which is as expected. So pareho siya. Same as the future value. Okay, so we say that what's our decision? Is this project, is this investment scheme acceptable? Is it feasible? The answer is yes, since the net present value or the net future value is positive. So summarize lang natin dito guys, ang net present value kasi is equal to the summation of the present values of your inflows minus the summation of the present value of your outflows. So ang inflows natin are the present values that are positive ito. So that's equal to the sum of all of these positive values, inflows kasi, control enter. And then ang outflows natin, isa lang naman siya, in present value, ito lang. Okay? So if we sum this up, alt equal to, hindi sinama yung ano, yung sum ng dalawa, you have 1652.59, which is this one. Okay? Or we can use the net future value, which is the future value cash inflows, the sum of them, minus the future value cash outflows. So ito guys, this is just the sum of the future values, this one, and then the sum of the future value of the cash outflow. Isa lang naman siya, ito. So the sum is your net future value, 266.51, okay? And we say that these projects are okay. Itong project na to is okay, whether we base it on the net present value and the net future value. So there should be no conflict between the NFV and the NPV. Usually guys, ang ginagamit yung NPV. Now, there's a function in Excel called NPV. So how did we compute for the NPV? Inisa-isa pa natin, di ba? Kinuha natin yung mga present values ng cash flows natin. Now, we can dispense with that because in Excel, there's a function called NPV. However, we have to use this with caution kasi the way Excel uses NPV is that it returns the net present value of an investment based on a discount rate and a series of future payments. So pag gagamitin natin to guys, itong NPV na to, dapat ang gagamitin natin future cash flows. Ibig sabihin, hindi natin pwedeng isama si 9,000 kasi present yan eh. So ang pwede lang natin masama sa equation natin ito. Ito lang. Yan lang yung future na yan kasi nagsisimula sa year 1 to 5. Okay, so let's try to do, pag isama natin guys itong year 0, magkakaroon tayo ng error. No? Ang rate natin is WACC, and then comma. If we include yan, what happens? Excel will read 9,000 as belonging to year 1. Okay, that's after 1 year, which is not the case kasi yung 9,000 na yan, current yan eh, present na yan. So we get a value that's different from what we expect, 1652. Okay, so let's modify this. Hindi pa pwedeng C55, dapat C56 lang. So I'll just put C56. So itong 5 lang yan. Yung future lang, yung future. Okay, and then enter. Kaso nga lang, what we get, guys, is the present value of the cash inflows. Ito yun, tama, no? 10,652. So we have to adjust this by including yung present value na 9,000 para makuha talaga natin yung NPV, net present value. Okay, so it's now the correct one, 1652.59. Okay, let me pause for a while. Paki-chat nga please kung may questions. Kung clear naman, paki-chat na clear. Okay, thank you. Okay, very good. Although hindi pa rin naka 100%, no? Okay, so, but at least we're improving guys. Nag-i-increase yung mga responses. Dati kasi, minsan, 3 lang, 4, 5 lang yung magre-respond. Ngayon, I'm so happy guys that you're cooperating. Thank you so much for that. Okay, so, I'll assume that there are no questions about that. Nag-default sa 11 minsan. Okay. So I hope clear guys yung paggamit ng NPV. Take note. Kaya natin pinasok lang sa NPV function yung from year 1 lang kasi ang hinahanap lang niya yung future cash flows. Okay? So hindi natin pwede isama si 9,000. But we will have to add it back. Add kasi naka-negative na siya. If this was stated in the positive pero outflow siya, ima-minus natin. So we got the correct NPV function. Now, usually dalawang metrics ang ginagamit para ma-determine if a project is feasible or not. One is NPV, which we have just discussed. Another one is the internal rate of return, which is IRR. So anong sabi dito? Returns the internal rate of return for a series of cash flows. All right. So we can now use the return function of Excel. Values, dito tama sa Excel, isasama natin yung year 0. Okay, then there's another one, yung guess. Ignore the guess muna, no? Later on, gagamitin natin yan. Control Enter. So we have here 15.57. Default na naman siya sa 11. Okay, 15.47. So based on the IRR of 15.47, do we accept the project as feasible? Feasible ba yung project o hindi? Yes or no? And if yes or no, and explain why. Okay ba yung return na 15.47? Is it feasible? Yes or no? And then why? Okay, notice guys, medyo mabilis lang yung discussion ko nito kasi I have requested you to already watch the video. Okay, so we will be entertaining. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, very good. Elijah, thank you so much. Simon, thank you. Elisha, thank you so much. It just tells me that you watch the videos. No? Kasi usually, pag first time na nakita to, no, hindi makukuha yung answer. Okay, you're correct. So thank you, the three of you. Salamat kasi 15.47 is IRR is acceptable kasi mas mataas siya kaysa sa weighted average cost of capital. So ang decision rule, guys, if the IRR is greater than WACC, then the project is okay. Of course, the reverse is opposite. If the IRR is less than the weighted average cost of capital, then we reject the project. Okay, now it's important to realize, guys, or to know that if there's a conflict between NPV and IRR, kung may conflict sila, kunyari, sabi ni NPV, okay yung project. Sabi ni IRR, hindi okay yung project. Sino yung masusunod, guys? Kindly chat. Which do we follow? The results of the NPV or the results of the IRR? Okay, thank you, Simon. Thank you, Jillian. You're correct. Thank you, Elijah, Ingrid. Yeah, they are correct. No? Ibig sabihin, pinanood nyo talaga. Gab, salamat. Very good, guys. Very good. So that means, guys, Gab, thank you. Okay, ibig sabihin nito, guys, na okay yung project natin. Pag may conflict si NPV at saka si IRR, always follow NPV. Okay, why is that so? Saka na natin pag-usapan yan pag nag-capital budgeting tayo. It has something to do with how IRR is computed. So theoretically, mas sound yung computation ng NPV kaysa sa IRR. Okay, so when there's conflict between the two, we normally follow the NPV. Now, let's see, guys, ano ba yung kunyari, if the WACC is equal to IRR, kunyari 15.47 din yung WACC natin. Ano yung NPV natin at IRR? So let's compute for this, NPV. Ang rate natin is, ang WACC natin is equal to IRR. So let's assume that they're the same, no? So our values will be, siyempre magsisimula tayo sa value 1, year 1. Okay, and then, pa-plus natin si year 0. Okay, so take a look at this function, guys, our formula. Here we're computing for the NPV if the WACC, if the rate of return is equal to IRR. And what do you find? Paki-chat nga, guys, kung anong lumalabas. Ano yung NPV, guys, if the rate if our weighted average cost of capital is exactly equal to the IRR. What do we get? Yes, okay. Yeah, thank you, Simon, thank you. Elijah, you're correct, 0. No? zero, Simon, hindi percent, NPV is not expressed in terms of percent, no? NPV is the cash flow, no? So zero siya. Ang cash flow natin, net cash flow natin is zero. Ibig sabihin nun, equal lang yung cash, summation ng present value of your cash inflows at saka summation of the present value of your cash outflows. Yeah, thank you, Simon. Yeah, it's zero lang siya. So, ibig sabihin nun, guys, kung yung WACC natin equivalent to IRR, then indifferent tayo kung if we will pursue the project or not. Kasi total, ang cash flow natin, net cash flow natin, zero lang naman. Okay? So, we can say that the net present value, the IRR, is that rate of return where the net present value is equal to zero. So, sa IRR, guys, ang net present value natin equal to zero. So, pareho lang yung cash inflows natin sa cash, yung present value sila, yung sum ng present value sila are just the same. Okay, so that's how we look at the IRR. It is the rate, that rate of return where the wala. And so let me just repeat that. Negative NPV rate is IRR, comma values hanggang 1,000 lang, comma plus 9,000. Ay, what happened? C64 rate, C56 to C60, okay, and then plus, kasi may negative dito. Okay. Alright, clear so far, guys, yung pag-compute ng NPV ng IRR at saka yung NPV at IRR. Paki-check nga please kung clear siya. Okay. So more please, more responses. Kung clear so far. Yes. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'll wait for more responses. Naghihintay ako, guys, ng response kasi gusto kong parang survey ko to sa inyo kung how many among you are getting it, tapos or kung majority ba, so far ba, mabilis yung explanation ko, nakukuha nyo ba? So that's very important for me kasi I would rather that we slacken a bit as far as our pace is concerned, for as long as you understand the sessions, kaysa yung minamadali natin kasi hindi nyo pala nakukuha. Okay, a few more seconds, guys. Paki-respond na lang. Those of you who haven't responded yet. So far, clear ba tayo? So far, clear ba yung discussion natin sa NPV, IRR, NPV at IRR? Okay, a little more. Konti na lang. Sana maka 70% or 80% tayo na response rate. I'll be happy about that. Okay. Sana, guys, wish ko lang, guys, request ko lang, sana yung response mas mabilis, no? Para we don't waste time on dead air, no? Ibig sabihin, naghihintay pa ako ng responses sa inyo. If you can respond more quickly, mas maganda yun. Okay, so thank you so much. 22 said yes. I don't know what happened to the rest. So ibig sabihin nun, baka wala sila dyan, baka hindi nila naririnig yung question, which is sayang, no? Sana andyan pa rin kayo sa in front of your screen and listening and not doing any other thing. Okay, kasi guys, mas mahirap yung yung next quiz natin kasi medyo computational na to, no? So it's important that you really practice on the use of FB, PV, PMT rate, and PER sa Excel. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, now guys, tingnan natin tong problem na to. Meron tayong 1 million ngayon. Okay, it's called non-annual compounding periods. May 1 million tayo ngayon. Ang annual rate is 10%. Sometimes we call this the APR, annual percentage return, APR. No? Ang nakalagay yata dyan, 30 years. Ano? So 30 years. Okay. Now, we'd like to compute for the future value. Magkano yung 1 million if the rate is 10% after 30 years? If we're compounding it once a year. Okay. Let's see. So, ang formula natin dito is equal to negative FB. Okay. Ang rate natin is 10%. No? Comma. N per is 30 years. Comma. Wala tayong annuity. May present value tayo na 1 million. Okay. So how much will 1 million be in 30 years time at 10%? It will be equal to 17.5 million approximately. Okay. Now what about if the compounding is twice a year? Ibig sabihin nun guys, 2 times a year nagko-compute ng interest. No? Okay, my question is, kung 2 times a year nagko-compute ng interest, magkano yung interest na ginagamit every time na magko-compute ng interest? How much will it be? Kunyari, magko-compute tayo ng interest for January and then after 6 months sa July. Ilang percent yung gagamitin natin to compute for the interest in January and in July? How many percent, guys? Kindly chat, please. How many percent? Semi-annual tayo, ah. Semi-annual compounding, ibig sabihin, twice a year natin po-compute yung interest. Sa bawat computation natin ng interest, ilang percent ang gagamitin natin? Okay, let's see. May nag-chat. Okay, correct. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, John. You're correct. No, 5%. 5% yung gagamitin natin. 5% sa una, 5% sa dulo. Total of 10% yun. Okay? So that's how you do it, no? Kung semi-annual yung compounding. So let's compute for that, FB. Ang rate natin will be 10%. So divided by 2, no? So 5%. N per natin, what will now be our N per? Ilang periods yan? Ilang periods, guys? Ilan yung total periods natin na magko-compute ng interest? You see your answer? Yeah, correct. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Gab. You're correct. 60. 60 kasi, guys, sa isang taon, 2 times tayo magko-compute ng interest. Tapos ilang years lahat yun? 30 years. 30 times, so that's 60. You're correct. Thank you, Elijah. Thank you, Gab. So tama, ano, na ang ano natin, N per will be 30, and then i-multiply natin ng dalawa. 30 times 2. So that should be 60. Comma, PMT, wala tayong PMT. Comma, present value natin is 1 million. Okay, we ignore the type kasi hindi naman siya annuity. Control Enter. There. So notice guys, na mas malaking future value kung 2 times tayo nag-compute ng interest every year. Diba? Kaysa kung isa lang beses lang, 17 lang yon. Kung dalawa, 18.6 lang. So we can guess guys na kung quarterly yung pag-compute ng interest, mas malaki yan. Kung bi-monthly, which means 6 times a year, so once every 2 months, bi-weekly, okay, 26 weeks, weekly, 52 weeks, tapos daily pa, tapos may continuous compounding pa. So I want us guys to create one formula here. Tapos para ma-copy down natin hanggang dito sa daily. Kasi ito lang may value dito sa periods per year. Yung infinite text kasi kaya hindi natin pwede ma-copy down. So sige, I'm going to delete this. Paki-chat guys sa chat box kung ano yung function natin dito na pwede nating ma-compute na yung future value and then copy down up to daily compounding. Isang formula lang. Okay, so let me pause this for a while. Pause recording muna tayo. Okay, we have here some answers. Okay, dami, no? 5. So, tingnan natin. Okay, so from Jillian, okay, tingnan natin ha. Simon, sino to? Anong nickname is? Benj. And then si Gab. Okay. Rate, current periods, total years. Okay. So let's see, 1, 2, ilan yung nag-answer? 3, 4. So 5 of you answered, no? 1, 2, 3, 4. Tama ba? Si Eliza, si Jillian, si nickname ni ano? Si Gab 3, and then si Benj 4. Okay, 4 of you gave answers, no? Okay, so let's see kung tama yung answer. Tingnan natin. Let's see, since si Benj yung nasa taas dito, yung una, kunin natin yung ano niyan. Control C, I'll copy the formula. Control B. Okay. So B71, okay, tingnan natin ha. Rate is, ano yung rate na ginamit mo, Benj? B71 ba? Tama ba yung kinopya ko? Okay, sorry. Different tayo ng cells, no? Okay, so mukhang iba yung mga cell positions natin. Okay, so first, di ba yung rate natin will be, okay, this, kasi magkaiba tayo ng cell position. No? So 10%, i-fix natin yung ano, yung row. Kasi ika-copy down natin to eh. Divided by B, okay, B72. So may two rows coming difference in Benj. And then for the NPER, it's B70 dapat to. B70. Tapos no need to fix the column, no? Okay, kung hindi naman kailangan i-fix yung column or yung row, huwag nyo na i-fix. Times B72. Okay. And then for the PMT, wala. And then for the present value, it's B68. Tanggalin na natin itong ano, B68. Okay. So this is correct, no? Tama tong formula na to. Control Enter. Okay, 17. Tapos when we copy it down, okay, yan. Okay, so the four of you, Benj, Eliza, Jillian, and then si Gab, no? Please remind me, may plus 2 points kayo, no, sa bonus. Plus 2 points dun sa exercise natin, sa mga bonus points natin. Kinocumulate naman natin mga bonus points. Remember, at the end of the term, i-add ko yan, tapos magiging plus 5% yan, or 4%, 3%, 2%. Okay, so remind nyo lang ako ha. So, Eliza, sino pa yan? Si Benj, si Gab, sino pa? Isa? Julian, okay? Dito. So that's 2 points each. No? Okay. We'll keep that coming, guys, kasi that will matter towards the end. Kasi guys, kaysa idadagdag ko sa quiz points yan, maliit lang yun. Pag idadagdag ko siya dun sa dulo, imagine plus 5% percentage points yan, guys, ha? Mas malaki yun. No? So thank you to this 3. Paki-remind ako kasi maglalagay na ako ng yung isasama ko na to sa Kahoot yung points na to para ma-record na natin. Okay, please remind me na lang. Kasi by next, hopefully before Monday, of course, makukuha nyo na yung results ng first quiz natin. Okay, ang kulang na lang natin dito, guys, yung ang kulang natin dito yung infinite. Paano kung infinite? Paano ang tawag niyan? Continuous compounding or perpetuity. So the formula to use pag continuous compounding is, ilan natin dito, review, start thinking. Ito. The formula, if it's continuous compounding, it's the future value is equal to the present value times E raised to the R times T. Okay. I'm sure you have met yung number na E, ano? Yung exponential. Do you know guys, anong value ng E? Anyone? Ano yung approximate value ng E? Kasi si E guys, ano to this is a transcendental number, this is an irrational number. Ibig sabihin, we cannot define it by the quotient of two rational numbers sa A over B. It's a non-repeating, non-terminating number. So what's the value of E? Okay, Sophia, thank you. No, Jillian, salamat. No? So that's 2.771. Yeah, correct. Sa Excel, guys, pakita natin So sa Excel is equal to EXP. Okay, so ano yung EXP? Sabi, returns E raised to the power of a given number, E to the 1. So that's E. So you're correct, it's 7.1828. Excuse me. So that's the value of E, no? So actually, ano siya? Yung pinsan sa ni Pi, ano? Okay, right. Equal to Pi. Nalagyan ko ba ng 1.5? Hindi. Ano bang syntax sa Pi dito? Pi. So but my function returns the value. Yan, okay? So ito si Pi, guys, ito si E. Okay, magpinsan yung dalawang yan, parehong mga transcendental numbers yan. Ibig sabihin, non-repeating, non-terminating number yan. Okay, so we can compute for the future value, the compounded value, if we're using a perpetuity or continuous compounding. So ito guys is equal to the present value is 1,000, and then times E, no? Exponential E to the R times T. So your R is 10%, then times T is 30, the E to the RT. There you go. Okay. So 20,085,536.92. So you notice guys, habang lumalaki yung compounding in periods per year, okay, lumalaki yung future value natin. Siyempre kasi ilang beses this is the power of compounding which we illustrated before. Ilang beses natin kino-compute yung interest, no? So continuous compounding, 30 years, 1 million now at 10%. 10% for 30 years, continuously compounded, you get 20,085. Ito 20,077, daily compounding din to. You weren't born yet, wala pa nga kayo nun. So siguro yung grandparents nyo or maybe your parents, alam nila na there was a time when there was a bank called Banco Filipino, na ang tagline ng Banco Filipino is araw-araw interest na interest. So ibig sabihin nun, yun ang yun ang unique selling proposition nila for people to invest in Banco Filipino. Araw-araw interest na interest. Kasi nga naman, alam natin na pag daily compounding, guys, yung 1 million natin in 30 years time, magiging 20,077. As compared to 17,449 lang kung single compounding lang per year. So you can see the difference, no? So pag mas malaki yan, mas pronounce yung difference sa future value. Okay? So you see guys, ang tawag natin so with this guys, we can now compute for what we call the effective annual rate, yung EAR versus yung APR. Yung APR natin guys, yung nominal rate, yung 10%. Okay? Now since magkakaiba yung future value nila, alam natin guys na magkakaiba yung effective rate nila. So how do we compute for that? Very easy guys. We can use the rate function in Excel. So it's equal to rate. No? So magkakaiba sila ng future values. And per natin, number of periods is all of them 30 years, no? Comma, PMT wala, present value 1 million. Okay? Comma, future value natin, gawin natin negative 2. Future value natin is yan. So pare-pareho silang present value, pare-pareho silang number of years, 30. Okay? Magkakaiba silang future value. So we can see the difference. So alam natin, of course, ito, since single compounding lang siya, it will be equal to the nominal rate. Yung effective annual rate na will be the same as the nominal rate. However, pag dinag natin ito bababa, oops, dali. I forgot to fix B70. Okay, naka-fix dapat to. F4, B68, naka-fix. C72 hindi. Okay? Okay, there. Let me flash the formula again. So we're using the rate function. Pare-pareho silang present value, pare-parehong number of years, magkakaiba yung mga future values sila. Okay, so we can see now the differences between the effective annual rate, no? So ito 10% lang kasi annual compounding lang to. But the semi-annual compounding, which compounds your amount 2 times a year, will have, of course, a higher effective annual rate. Obviously, guys, kasi mas mataas yung future value niya. So going down, guys, ang pinakamataas na effective annual rate will be the continuous, 10.517% versus 10.516, yung daily. Okay? Alright, clear so far dito, guys? Paki-chat naman please kung okay ba yung pag-compute natin using the rate function. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, very good. Thank you. All right, so we can use the formula. So dito linagay ko yung formula natin. Our formula is, pakidagdag nga guys yung -1. I think nakalimutan ko isama yung -1. Effective annual return is equal to 1 plus the nominal rate over the n per y, the periods per year, raised to the periods per year, -1. Okay, so gawin natin yan. So our EAR, our effective annual return, will be 1 plus the nominal rate is 10%. We're going to fix this, and then divided by the number of periods per year. Okay, and then raised to the number of periods per year, and then -1. Okay, so that's the formula for effective annual return. 1 over the nominal rate divided by the periods per year, raised to the periods per year -1. Control Enter. Okay, and then copy down. Okay. Of course, guys, hindi natin pwede siya makopy dito. Kasi hindi naman pwede natin i-divide by the text, no? So ang formula dyan, ang formula for dito sa continuous compounding, ang EAR natin will be equal to E raised to the I. Okay, so that's our formula to compute for the effective rate if it's continuously compounded. So that's EXP raised to the I. I is 10%, or interest rate. Okay. Control Enter. You get, sorry, -1 pa pala ito, no? E -1. So kulang yung formula ko. It should be -1. Okay. Jillian, kindly share your question to the class. Okay, thank you, Jillian. Okay, yung ano guys, yung usually sa mga transactions, ang binibigay na rate lagi yung annual rate. Okay, unless sinabi na 5%, which is semi-annual. No? But the practice is, ang binibigay lang lagi yung nominal rate, yung annual rate. So yung nominal rate, which is the 10%, is the nominal rate is the APR, annual percentage return. Okay? Ito yung binibigay na rate usually, annual rate, or this is AKA. Okay, this is the same as your APR. APR. Jillian, did that answer your question? Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So we looked at two ways by which to compute for the effective annual rate. No? Merong isa yung kailangan i-compute muna natin yung future value para ma-compute natin yung effective rate. Yung isa naman guys, hindi na natin kailangan i-compute yung future value. Ang kailangan lang natin yung nominal rate, which is 10%, or the APR, and then kailangan natin yung number of periods per year, yung number of compounding per year. So using the function, the formula 1 plus the nominal rate divided by the periods per year, raised to the periods per year, and then minus 1, that will give you your EAR. Yan, ito, no? So 1 plus the nominal rate divided by the periods per year, everything raised to the periods per year, and then minus 1. That will now be your EAR. Okay? So nakita natin na whether we use the rate function by first computing for the future value, or we use the formula, or sa Excel guys is equal to effect. And may function sa Excel na effect, no? Which returns the effective annual interest rate. So ang syntax yan, kailangan lang natin yung nominal rate at saka yung periods per year. Number of periods per year, that's your N per Y. Okay, so let's do this. 10%. Take yung 10% yan divided by the periods per year. Okay, so effect formula lang guys, effect function. Oops. Kulang ba? Ay, sorry. Hindi divide. Comma pala yan. Comma. Nominal rate and then N per Y. Okay. Control Enter. Of course guys, hindi natin pwede magamit dito kasi hindi natin pwedeng maano yung infinite, no? Okay, so 3 different ways to compute for the effective annual return. So ang conclusion natin dito guys, pag the more compounding there is, of course, automatically the future value will be greater. So ergo guys, pag mas malaki yung future value given the same number of years, kasi pare-pareho lang naman yung present value natin. Pareho lang yung number of years natin, pero magkakaiba yung future value. Therefore, we know that the effective rate will be higher if the future value is higher. Okay, and when will the future value be higher? If you have greater compounding per year. So pag mas mabilis yung compounding, kunyari ito weekly, every week nagko-compound, nagko-compute ng interest, mas malaki yung future value niyan. E lalo na pag daily, yung araw-araw interest ng interest, mas malaki yung future value niyan. And since mas malaki yung future value, mas malaki yung effective annual rate. Okay? So we looked at 3 ways to compute for the effective annual rate. One is, sabi natin, kailangan mo natin i-compute sa future value para makuha natin si effective annual rate. Or pwedeng diretso ng formula, 1 plus the nominal over number of periods per year raised to the number of periods per year minus 1. That's the formula to compute for your EAR. And then we can also use the effect function in Excel. Okay? Of course, yung effect function in Excel, ginamit lang niya yung formula na yan. Okay, so let me pause for a while, guys. Clear so far? Paki-chat naman, please, kung clear or kung may questions, paki-indicate na lang sa chat or you can unmute yourself. Clear ba so far itong concept ng effective annual rate or effective annual return? Okay, I hope to get a big number of responses. Okay, a little more guys. Sana clear yung ano natin, discussion natin. So as usual guys, I'm going to post this para if I was going too fast, you can review the video. Okay, and then if you have questions guys, please feel free to chat me, PM me. Kahit hindi dito, kahit sa messenger lang. And I'll gladly answer your questions. Okay. So naka 50% din tayo. May question pala dito. No? What's the difference between APR and EAR? Yung APR, ito yung nominal rate, no? Annual percentage return. Pag nag-transact kayo kunyari sa bangko or sa maghihiram kayo, ang binibigay na interest rate yung APR. Okay, so kunyari nag-loan tayo ng 50,000, 50 million, no? Tapos sasabihin ng bangko kung ano yung interest rate, ng prevailing interest rate, kunyari 9%. Okay, so 9%, yun yung APR natin. Yun ang nominal rate. Pero guys, kunyari ang payment natin is monthly. So yung sa loan natin, nagbabayad tayo ng monthly. Kung monthly guys yung payment, ang effective rate natin hindi equal to APR. Kuha nyo guys. Kunyari at 10%, ito yung binigay ng bangko, no? Ito yung binigay ng bangko na interest rate, na 10%. So that's annual. Okay, pero kung monthly kung monthly guys yung payment, ibig sabihin monthly yung pag-compute ng interest, ang effective rate nun is 10.471. Okay, so hindi talaga 10% yung binabayaran mo kung nag-loan tayo, no? It's actually 10.471%. Kasi ang payment natin every month eh. Every month guys, nag-i-incur ng interest yan yung sa payment natin. Okay? But if it's only once a month, once a year, then ang effective rate pa rin natin 10% pa lang, which is equal to the APR. APR, annual percentage rate, or another name for that is nominal rate. Nominal rate, NOMINAL. Okay, Jillian, did that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Any other questions? Thank you, Jillian, for that question. Can I see the formula on E80? Sorry, Okay, Elijah, E80, sorry, where's E80? Okay, ito. It's e to the I minus 1. Exponential e to the I minus 1. Okay, Elijah, did that answer your question? Okay, thank you. Yeah. Guys, sorry kung hindi ko kagad nakikita yung yung question nyo. So, lalo na sa chat, no? So, kung pwede guys, kunyari kung may mga ganyang question, raise your hand tapos na lang natin mag-unmute na lang kayo, no? Kasi baka matabunan yung mga questions nyo baka hindi ko makita. And I'll be very sad about that guys kung may pending pala kayo na question tapos hindi ko man lang nasagot. Okay? So kung pwede guys, ganun na lang So raise your hand to be recognized or unmute yourself, magpaalam na lang kayo and then we will recognize you para makita natin yung question, para masagot yung question. Okay, so that ends our discussion here on this worksheet guys. So dito natutunan natin yung paggamit ng functions sa Excel ng FB, PV, PMT, rate, and per. These are very powerful functions. So magkakaroon tayo guys ng isang case problem on time value of money. Group siya. Magbibigay ako ng mga questions which your group nyo sa case ang gagamitin will answer. And it's a limited time So siguro 1 day lang yung pagitan and you will have to submit that. Tapos syempre with the solution. So these are money problems and that will be considered as part of the exercise which syempre graded yun. Okay, now let's go to this one, amortization. Punta tayo dito guys. Sorry, medyo nalagyan ko yata ito. Okay. Delete ko na muna. Okay. Medyo magkaiba guys yung yung nabigay ko yata sa inyo. Kindly insert na lang sa table. Okay, paki-copy na lang while so meron tayong loan principal, percentage down payment, amount of finance, annual rate of interest, number of years, tapos ito yata hindi nalagay, periods per year, monthly, or basta kung ano yung kulang dito guys, pakilagay na lang. Periodic rate, total periods, and monthly amortization. because we're going to compute for this one. But before we do that, let me first share with you yung sa yung sa pag-ibig. If you have access to the internet now, Control C. I'll share it in the chat box. Okay, may dalawang sites ako ng pag-ibig na i-share sa inyo, yung HDMF. Okay, we'll take a look at this. Control C. Okay. Okay, kindly open these two sites. May I ask you guys, sa accounting nyo ba na pag-aralan nyo itong how to construct an amortization table, amortization schedule? Paki-chat naman please kung if in your accounting or in your other subjects, you have learned to use amortization schedule. Gen Math. Pero manual ba o Manual o Excel? Manual, I think. Hindi. Sige. Okay, that's good kasi dito tayo, Excel. Tapos medyo mas mas higher yung level ng complexity. Okay. So, very good because this is a good opportunity to learn something new today. Okay, may I invite your attention to this one, yung frequently asked questions ng pag-ibig. So this is a very good example of applications ng time value of money, no? So dito sa site na inano ko sa inyo, pwede niyo ma-explore na lang to later on kasi guys, pag na kayo siguro ng family niyo, then you will decide kunyari with your husband or your wife, mag-loan kayo sa pag-ibig, then it's a good thing to know how this works, no? So who can get a loan? What can I do with the pag-ibig housing loan? How do I qualify, etc. We won't go there, guys. How much money? 6 million yung yata, yung pinaka maximum, no? Okay, we go here to what are the interest rates. So for purposes of our discussion today, we're going to use the 15-year 7.875 interest rate. Ito nominal to guys, ha? This is what you call, ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, ito yung APR. Pag nagbibigay ng interest rate guys, ang binibigay yung nominal, yung annual, 7.875. Siyempre guys, pag maglo-loan tayo, since monthly usually yung amortization niyan, hindi talaga 7.875 yung binabayaran natin ng interest. Kasi compounding yan kung monthly, meron tayong tinatawag na effective annual rate. So hindi siya 7.875, no? Mas malaki, no? Okay, so let's so gagamitin natin 7.875 and then dun sa isang site na binigay ko, this is housing loan affordability calculator. So if you go here guys, dito sa unang drop down, click here to select what you want to compute. I-ano lang natin itong dulo, how much you can borrow based on the value of the property. Okay? Ilagay natin yan. So let's assume that manghihiram tayo ng ang value ng property na gusto natin i-loan 5 million. Okay, and then 15 years, 'di ba, pipiliin natin. So hanggang 30 years pa pwede. 15 years. So ito guys, yan, no? Nakalagay na dito 15 years 7.8075. Ito yung interest rate which was consistent with dito yung 15 years 7.875. Okay. And then automatically napansin nyo na sinabi ni pag-ibig calculator na you can loan 4.5 up to 4.5. So hindi natin pwedeng i-loan yung buong amount ng 5 million. Okay, kasi dapat may equity tayo doon, parang may down payment or mayroon tayong ibibigay doon sa whoever the financial institution is or whoever yung real estate na binibilhan natin ng property. No? Okay, so ibig sabihin itong 4.5 ang loanable amount natin, 10% dapat yung equity natin. 10% of 5,000, that's 500,000. So hindi natin maloloan yun, dapat yun ang i-aan natin, i-equitize natin. No? Okay, then sabi dito, kita nito 42,680.24. Okay, let's not mind this, yung estimated equity 500,000 and then so dapat ang sinasabi ni pag-ibig dapat ang monthly salary mo 121,943 para makapag-loan ka ng ganito para kakayanin mo yung amortization na 42,680.24. So let's copy this, guys. Copy natin sa Excel natin. Okay, kinopy ko na siya dito. Ito siya. Okay, so kaya natin to. 7 minutes, 8 minutes. No? Okay, so let's fill this up. Ang amount natin, loan principal is 5 million, di ba? Down payment is 10%. So ang amount to finance or ang loanable amount natin is equal to 5 million, tapos ibabawas natin yung equity na 10%. Quote-unquote yung down payment. So ito lang yung maloloan natin, 4,500,000. Okay? And then, magkano yung rate natin? 7.875%. This is according to Pag-ibig, no? Ito yung ano natin, ito yung prevailing market rates daw ngayon. Pero ito 15 years, di ba? Kasi pag mas mababa yung years, mas maliit yung interest rate. Okay, kung titingnan niyo guys, mas maliit yung interest rate guys kung mas maliit yung years. Kasi mas less risk to sa Pag-ibig, no? So the higher the number of years, 9.875 kung 30 years. So kasi Pag-ibig will be assuming a greater amount of risk. So it will impose now a greater required return, no? From the borrower. So very consistent with the principle of risk and return na pinag-aralan natin yung first few weeks natin. No? Okay, kitang-kita natin dito guys, risk and return principle. Kasi kung 1 year lang guys, mas less risk, mas less yung exposure ni Pag-ibig sa risk. Kaya mas mababa yung required return niya. Okay, so let's go back here to our model. All right, periods per year. Okay, so this is monthly. 12 to. Monthly yung mali yata. Month. So 12 periods per year, ibig sabihin monthly. Okay, so what will be our periodic rate? Remember guys, our periodic rate will be the nominal divided by kung ilan yung beses nagbabayad tayo per year. So that's 12. So in effect guys, we're paying 0.6563% interest per month, no? Per month yan. So total periods natin will be equal to ilang years, tapos ilang months per year, so 12. So we're going to pay 180 times, no? 180 yung, kasi 12 times a year. Tapos times 15 years, so that's 180. Okay. Then question guys, paano natin mako-compute yung monthly amortization? So ang relevant sa atin dito, ilan yung present value natin? This is a loan, so actually this is a cash inflow. Tapos magkano yung rate natin? So since ito monthly guys, dapat monthly din yung ano natin, yung rate will be monthly, your NPER will be monthly, dapat monthly din yung reckoning natin, no? So meron tayong a monthly rate and then meron tayong monthly number of periods, no? So what function are we going to use here if we're going to compute for the annuity? Annuity ordinary to. Kasi pagka-loan natin, after 1 month pa muna bago tayo magbabayad. What will be the Excel function to solve for this? Paki-chat nga please guys. Quickly. Alam nyo na yan guys. Kaya nyo na yan. Chat box please. Anong function ni Excel? Is it rate? Is it NPER? Diyan na guys, diyan na yung description. No? So that will be, kindly chat please. Kailangan natin guys matapos ng lahat para pareho tayo sa isang section. Okay, it's PV, hindi natin sinosolve si PV. Ano sinosolve natin guys? Ang gusto natin malaman kung magkano yung amortization. Yung amortization yung magkano yung ibabayad natin every month. So ano yun? That will be your, not the NPV, yung PMT. Okay, correct. PMT guys ang gusto natin. Remember, amortization to. Amortization, magkano kada buwan yung ibabayad natin for 180 periods. Di ba? Hindi PV yan ha. Hindi siya NPV, but rather the PMT. Okay, so is equal to, I'm going to put negative here na lang para positive answer. Negative PMT, yung rate natin ano? Since ang ang ano natin guys, ang bayaran is monthly, dapat yung rate din natin monthly. Okay, so this is monthly rate, comma, and per natin should also be monthly, 180, comma, present value natin, yung malulong natin is 45. Okay, comma. Okay, what's the future value? May future value ba guys? Wala. So ignore the FB. And then the type is annuity ordinary, 0. Or we can just ignore yung last two, yung dalawang commas at saka yung 0. Okay, so what do you get guys? Paki-chat please. Magta-time na tayo. Paki-chat please kung magkano yung nakuha natin dito. How much is our monthly amortization? Magkano yung babayaran natin sa pag-ibig every month? Kung maglo-loan tayo ng 5 million, which maloloan lang natin, 4.5 lang, okay, at 7.875 annual rate. Yes, correct. 42,680.24, tama. And that's the value that we get from pag-ibig yan. No? Okay, so ngayon guys, we can say that alam na natin paano kinukompute yung pag-ibig to. So, hindi nyo na kailangan ng pag-ibig calculator. Kailangan nyo lang malaman yung ano, yung interest rate. At saka kailangan lang natin malaman kung ano yung loanable amount natin. No? Okay, so yan. Okay na tayo dito, no? Okay, so let's now come up with our amortization table. Yung amortization table, guys, ipapakita sa atin dito. Magkano yung interest payment natin at saka magkano papasok sa principal, no? Okay, so let's start with month 0. Sa month 0, wala pa tayong babayaran kasi diyan papasok yung loan. Wala pa tayong interest payment, wala pa tayong principal payment. So ang principal balance natin will be 4.5. Okay, yan kasi yung loan natin. Okay, it's already time guys. May I have 2 minutes extension? Okay lang ba? Tapusin lang natin itong table.
Yes po.
Very quick lang to. Do I have your permission to extend 2 minutes? Okay, thank you so much guys. Thank you. Okay, so I'll assume guys na okay sa iba, no? All right, ilan yung periods natin? 180. So let's apply what we have been learning so far. Mag-set tayo ng 180 periods. So I'm starting with month 0. Then alala nito fill tapos series. Okay, and then columns 1 hanggang 180. Increment of 1 up to 180. Okay, so dito siya. Alright, so automatically guys hanggang 180 yan. No? There. Alright. So at the beginning of month 1 guys, magbabayad na tayo niyan. No? So ito yung ibabayad natin, 42,680.24. Magkano yung interest? So yung 42,680 na yan, hindi ibabawas lahat yan sa principal kasi portion of that will go to interest payment. Okay, so magkano yung interest? The interest will be based on magkano yung ending balance ng principal natin. Ito yung nag-accrue na incur ng interest. So this amount multiplied by the periodic rate natin, yung monthly rate natin, and then we fix yung monthly rate na to. So enter. So of the 42,000, 29,000 dito papasok sa interest. So ang matitira for the principal is this one, yung magkano ibabayad natin, fix ko yan, minus the interest rate. Okay? So ang total nito is 42,680. 29, ang laki ng pumunta sa interest, ano? Hindi nga nangalahati yung pumunta sa principal. Of course, gusto natin sana mas malaki sa principal para mababawasan yung interest natin. So this one minus yung principal payment, yan ang balance. Okay, so now this one guys, we can copy this one below. Kasi ito, it will be equal to the previous times the interest rate. No? So we can copy this pababa. We can also copy this pababa and this one. So highlight natin to, double click, there. Okay? So at the end guys, 0 na yung principal natin. Wala na. Tapos na yung, wala na tayong babayaran. No? So if we add out equal to, ito yung binayaran natin sa interest, ang binayaran naman natin sa principal, dapat 4.5. Yeah. Okay, so next meeting guys, we will, ito siguro yung natutunan nyo, yung basic, no? And siguro a few years lang kasi kung ika-calculator nyo to, matagal to, no? But sa atin, sa Excel natin tinitingnan to, so it's very, very fast in Excel. So we were able to prove na tama nga yung amortization na binibigay ni Pag-ibig, no, yung 42,680. Alright, next meeting guys, ano pa natin to, expand pa natin to. We will create a dynamic amortization table. Okay, so with that guys, thank you so much. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for allowing me to